want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ the Tar Heel. And in this off-the-cuff huddle, I just wanted to talk about a question that was posited to me in one of the videos, the North Carolina NC State reaction video. And the question was actually a really good question. I thought I'd take a couple minutes to explain it, at least from my point of view. So the guy was an NC State fan, and he goes, Russ, listen, legitimate question, bro. He said, I'm not from North Carolina. I came to North Carolina to go to NC State, to go to engineering school. And, the reason that I'm a huge fan is because I remember all the good times, the bad times, the hours and hours that I spent in the library, working on my degree. I remember, all the money that the university's taken from me. I mean, I'm just invested. That's why I'm such a stinking diehard NC State fan. And he said, I understand why I'm a fan. But what I can't understand for the life of me is why someone would be a fan of a school that they didn't even attend. And I think that's a legitimate question. So I wanted to answer it from my point of view. So you have the fandom from the graduate side, the side of, hey, I went to this school. I spent money at this school. This is where I spent 4, 5, 6 years of my life. That's why I go hard for that university. But before we get into the other side, especially being from the state of North Carolina, it's important to understand the history. And what a lot of people do understand is that professional sports has not always been a thing in North Carolina, right? The Charlotte Hornets got there in 1988. The Carolina Panthers came to Charlotte in 1995. And then you have the Carolina Hurricanes that came into Raleigh in 1997. And obviously the Carolina Hurricanes have a decent following, if you will. They won the 2006 Stanley Cup. The Carolina Panthers have been to 2 Super Bowls. They should have won the one in 2015. And the Charlotte Hornets have seldomly really done anything. But, before there was professional sports in North Carolina, there was college sports, right? Especially the Big Four. Wake Forest, North Carolina, Duke, and NC State. And how a lot of families identified themselves in the state of North Carolina before all these professional sports and all that stuff. They identified by the university. You didn't have to attend the university per se, right? But your identity, as far as families and friends and all that kind of stuff, is what university do you pull for? And, there was 4 main ones. And if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, it's basically 3. And as the saying goes in the state of North Carolina, when you're born in this state, there are decisions that need to be made as you grow up. First, you choose blue or red. And if you choose blue, then you pick which shade of blue, right? And that's just how things are in the state of North Carolina. It is a college state. It'll always be a college state. There's no amount of success at the professional level that will change, what this state is. It's a college state, and it always will be. And so, being from the Fayetteville, Fort Bragg area, my dad was in the Army. I grew up in North Carolina. My mom was born and raised in North Carolina. My dad was born and raised in Maryland. And he came down. He basically grew up in North Carolina, though. And so, the question was, as some of these kids that they're from all over the nation, being at an Army installation, right? And so you'd have kids from Texas, and like, hey, as I started playing Pop Warner football and baseball and stuff, we started talking about our sports teams. And a lot of these kids, hey, I'm from Texas, go Longhorns. Hey, I'm from Georgia, go Dogs. Hey, I'm from Michigan, go Wolverines. Hey, I'm from Tennessee, go Vols, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. People from all over the nation. They're proud of where they're from, and they pull for the team where they're from. One, North Carolina, growing up, elementary school, middle school, et cetera, right? You learn a lot of North Carolina history, and it didn't take long, You got to know what the state bird is, right? You got to know what the state flower and the state tree are, which are the same thing. You got to know what the nickname of the state is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it didn't take long before you obviously know that North Carolina's nickname is the Tar Heel State. Okay. And the citizens are called Tar Heels. Okay. Right? And they're proud of where they're from. They're from Georgia, Texas. You get that all the time. Everybody's proud to be from Texas. Well, I'm proud of where I'm from. I'm from North Carolina, right? And so I'm more proud of being from North Carolina than any Texan is of being from Texas. I mean, I go hard for my state. I think most of you can attest to that now. I love North Carolina. And as I'm picking my team, I'm looking around and I'm like, this is a no-brainer, right? I'm from North Carolina. I'm a Tar Heel. What could represent me more? What could stand out more as I tell people where I'm from and who I go for than to let them know that I pull for the University of North Carolina Tar Heels? That it exemplifies the very person that I am, right? That's just the route that I went, right? And so, people are like, well, you didn't go there. Okay. I really don't care about the academic side. And I know that may rub people the wrong way. That's not obviously why I'm a fan. I'm not a fan because of all the extracurricular activities that go on, on campus per se. That's not why I go hard for North Carolina. I go hard for North Carolina because I'm from North Carolina. I go hard for the Tar Heels because I am a Tar Heel. And I care so much because it bears my name. It is who I am. And, that's just another perspective. So you have on one hand the perspective of the person who has invested all this time, energy, and money into, a diploma, which I respect, right? Makes sense. And then you have the other side, a person like myself, where I went to college, but I didn't go to that college, okay? But what I am in my very nature, the blood that's coursing through my veins is a North Carolina Tar Heel. There are people with a diploma from UNC, and they're a Tar Heel. I'm not saying they're not a Tar Heel, but they're not from North Carolina, right? They don't have any ancestors from North Carolina. They don't have nothing like that from North Carolina. But they do have that degree. And then you have people like myself that didn't go to that school, but the very nature of who I am is a North Carolina Tar Heel. If you said, Russ, what are you? A North Carolina Tar Heel. That's what I am. And I'm proud of that, And, I can't understand why anybody would pick any other team. I really don't. I mean, Wake Forest, I'm sure that most of that is geographical, right? If you're from the Winston-Salem area, then I guess that kind of makes sense, right? You may, you pull for Wake Forest. Duke, I mean, almost nobody at Duke, is from North Carolina, right? Sorry, there's a guy riding by, and I don't know if that's a motorcycle but anyway, they call it New Jersey South for a reason, right? So, I mean, there's very little North Carolina at Duke. And so you have North Carolina and you have North Carolina State. And those are kind of the two that I would say make the most sense if you were going to pick, one of the big four, if you're from North Carolina. But I can be a Tar Heel, which I am, or I can be a Wolfpack, which I don't even know how that represents North Carolina at all. And some people may say, well, that's silly. That doesn't even make any sense. That's a dumb reason. Okay. That's the reason why, 30 years ago, I made the decision that I was going to stink and rep where I'm from. And nothing exemplifies that more than the university of the very place that I'm proud to be from, the University of North Carolina, the Tar Heels, because I am a Tar Heel. So hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of information pertaining to why you see me going so hard for this university. Look, I understand that there's a lot of people. There are people of the ink that would say, oh, you didn't go there? Take that stuff off. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. All right. I understand that those people are out there. Doesn't bother me one bit. Okay. Because I don't do what I do for them as much as I do what I do because I love the people from this state. I love the state of North Carolina, and I love being a Tar Heel. I love my fellow Tar Heels. So that's why I go so hard. That's why I could never be anything else, man. Win, lose, or draw. You know, does it just make me want to, you know, tear my beard hair out? Yeah, it does. Especially the last couple of football seasons, right? Even before Mac Brown got here. Yeah, it's frustrating sometimes. But at the same time, bro, I could not imagine being anything else because I am who I am, and I'm proud of it. So hopefully that explained a couple of things, man. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe to the comment. And if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe to the content. And comment down in the comment section, man. Let me know. I don't care if you're an NC State fan. Let me know why you're an NC State fan. If you're a Wake Forest fan, a Duke fan, you know, hey, let me know what made you go that route. And I am. This one's a little bit more pertaining to those who didn't go to said school, right? Because we know if you graduated from there, we get it. I understand that. That makes sense. I get it. Pull for your school. But in the state of North Carolina, you know, most of the fans that go hard for their said team, they didn't go to that school. So I'm interested. North Carolinians that didn't attend the university that they go hard for, why did you choose said university? You know why I chose it. I just gave you it top to bottom, right? Why it could be nothing else. So anyway, hopefully that cleared a couple of things up, man, because you still get it. You're still getting it all the time. You know, you didn't even go to that school. All right, man. Well, now you know why Russ is a Tar Heel. Love you, Tar Heel Nation. We'll catch you on the next one, baby.